This conceit of Minnesota Nice that was introduced in the movie Fargo, in some ways, it's a cultural idea. And this idea that in polite societies, people don't know how to bend, they only break.
This is all just a bunch of silliness. Honestly, I'm embarrassed by all the fuss.
The movie Fargo is a tragedy based on people's inability to communicate, even with themselves. What you end up with is a lot of passive aggression. I can only be nice out loud, but inside I'm seething. And so the question is, what is Minnesota nice when the Minnesota stops being nice?
Used to be a saying, Minnesota nice. But I was there. Nothing nice about Minnesota that day.
I grew up in Minnesota. I remember growing up with Fargo. Some people were like, oh, we don't talk like that. You know, and you're like,
My ASS.
Geez. I feel like I took a lot of Wayne from my father, who's like a gentleman, a small town doctor who loves his community and isn't always the best at conflict. Like kind of like pretends it doesn't exist. I like your eye patch.
Actually, that's a hunting accident.
Oh, geez. Oh, I stepped right into that one.
Oh, no.
I think there's a lot of that in Wayne, but the ability to deal with conflict and darkness, like what's actually in front of him, I think that's his growth in the season. I think at the beginning he's very much conflict averse, then the conflict becomes so apparent he cannot escape it.
Full-on arrest scenario. Fingerprints. Perp photo.
Jeez.
I think for so many people, including myself, Indira is diversifying that concept of what it looks like to be from Minnesota.
What the heck?
I didn't even know that there were people who looked like me there. And lo and behold, there are people who look like me who do have a Minnesota accent. And we have never seen a character in any of the seasons or in the movie of Fargo who look like me. That's something that was so exciting to me. And I was so happy that Noah wrote a character like this. Well, okay then. Thanks for your time.
You know, Noah writes with this rhythm of a Minnesota accent that it makes a scene feel so different to how it might read on the page when you suddenly say it out loud.
Shoot.
And yet, it doesn't take away the gravitas of it or the importance of where it's gonna go. It has a rhythm that makes it Minnesota, which comes from that sort of warm place. And I think it really helped me with the character. Like saying the word commode, just makes it a completely different way of talking about using a bathroom.
I had to sponge my pits in your mom's commode like a French lady.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe I like that. Caged heat. And as our country has gone through the tumult of the last 7 years, I think we even call into question, like, well, how nice is Minnesota, and what does that mean to be nice?
Kidnapping that ain't a kidnapping thing. Well, something fishy about that.
I think the whole season, in the end, really is about this idea of forgive and accept.
I agree with you there.
There is, of course, humor in passive aggressivity and in a forced niceness and a tone of voice, but there's also something destructive to it as well, which is just say what you mean. If you just say what you mean, then I'll understand who you are, and then if you do the same with me, then maybe we can get along.
Anywho, thanks for stopping by. Dinner Sunday?